We have about 60 to 70 people daily.
For how long?
So the harvest lasted maybe for a month this year.
So about 2,000 people.
Yes, I think man hours. I don't know. Have to calculate, but it was a long. We stretched this process more than we were willing to.
Yeah.
So this is one of the few, maybe just from the 400 hectares, just 70 hectares are planted with grafted trees.
I see.
The other ones, we had huge trees, we had local varieties, which turned out to be useless. They don't produce, so we had to top work them.
Yes.
So this is the orchard that we was established 8x6 as more or less as the literature provides us with this, requires from us. We didn't lose so much space, 10 by 10 like. So we had 1.5 tons. On this one we managed well the blight, but I'm a little bit concerned about the lack of growth, because I think they reached their... It was established in 2016.
Do you fertilize?
Less than we should.
Any nitrogen?
This year, yes, I scheduled. I bought maybe like 1.5 kilograms of urea per tree. We have 180 trees per hectare, so
kilograms, 70 kilograms? 700 kilograms per hectare.
maybe 80 kilograms of pure nitrogen a hectare. So this one concerns me the most, because we've planted it. I saw it growing. In 2020 we had a severe frost damage, so we basically had to start them from the beginning. That's why the canopy is not so well designed. Yeah. So my question, maybe my curiosity is, should we do some thinning? Should we do some severe pruning, heading of the scaffolds, or just manage the nitrogen?
My advice would be to concentrate on the fertilization and the nutrition. And not just nitrogen, but the balance. General statement of trees is any sort of pruning will create a dwarfing effect in total.
Any type of pruning will dwarfing effect.
Over most all trees, like there are exceptions if it's diseased or something, but in general, pruning is a dwarfing technique. It is useful, but it is dwarfing. So if you're concerned about total tree size, cutting more off is likely to be counterproductive.
Okay.
Fertilization, and figure out the soil, figure out the leaf, and try to provide all we can with that.
Get rid of the weeds on the row.
Competition close by, yes. And probably water competition is your most...
This stripe is
thing.
wide enough, or should we extend the herbicide?
That stripe is a good width.
How about some biostimulants, like some cytokinins?
Gibberellins. We're using algae extracts.
Yeah. They can be effective. If the tree doesn't have what it needs nutritionally, it's not going to grow much even if you stimulate it. But if you have the nutrition needs met and there's enough water when the tree's wanting to grow, then this can help. And the trees tend to give a flush of roots, probably here within the next month. This climate's different than California. But it's somewhat before they sprout, they will have the root flush. And then they will have generally a main flush of growth on the top in the spring after bloom with most varieties. They kind of bloom and then they push their buds and that'll extend. So if you can provide the tree at that time of year what it needs, it will extend more. If it's short on that time of year, even if later in the year or other time it has
let's say
everything,
Loss of opportunity.
it
Okay,
won't
okay.
produce another push of
So you're saying that we should provide the nitrogen by the praying stage, by the when the buds burst, or
you want to have, and it's not just nitrogen, but have an idea of the mix of
Mm-hmm.
fertilizers that would be deficient, and you want to have that available. Yeah, they're about or a little bit before it starts to bloom, because once you get the root flush, which happens a little bit before bud break on top,
Mm-hmm.
the tree is starting to take up nutrients. So you want to have it then. Later in the year can help with filling the nuts and quality of your crop, but the tree isn't going to decide to grow again in June, even if it's given a bunch of stuff. You might get a strong stimulant they got it to, but it's not going to be a natural cycle for the tree, and it can create other problems.
yeah, that's okay for
Still, in that period when you see before we leave out, what type of fertilizer, like what you said before, a triple NPK, triple 15 NPK,
Not knowing what the
nitrogen.
soil
Yeah,
lacks is
without any testing at all.
we are doing leaf samples.
Yeah.
But how about soil samples?
Soil sample we did it when the water was established. But for potassium, for example, it's not relevant because we have a lot of it. It's stuffed with potassium,
Chemically bound.
but it's bound.
But it's
yeah,
bound,
it's holding by the aggregate, soil aggregates, and it's not available for the.
So you were about to say
For the tree.
To answer this question, so regarding should it be NPK and complex fertilizer or just nitrogen?
Depends what you're lacking.
Without knowing what's lacking, I would suggest always some sort of complex fertilizer.
Yes.
I wouldn't get
Safe
super fancy, but I would have at least NP and K.
But they can do a soil sampling now.
But yes, you can do soil sampling now.
If I were you,
And
that
I
would
don't-
be interesting.
If it's possible to find a lab here in Moldova or that you could send to that will show the available and also unavailable. Because potassium is known for this, potassium, and the soils where I come from, zinc, will be very high in the soil but not available. And so we'll have this, they have used different type of extraction. And so you can tell what's available and what's not. In some things, you can make what's not available by changing the pH, which can also be very helpful.
What about the pH? I was watching some.
Let's go down a little bit outside.
How do you manage? Because we don't have a problem with low pH here in Moldova. How do you manage high pH? You make drainage. You administrate elemental sulfur, gypsum.
Typically sulfur or gypsum, depends on in the soil. If you have a lot of free carbonates in the soil, then elemental sulfur tends to be the most effective. If there isn't the carbonates to react to, then the gypsum is more helpful because it has both the calcium with the sulfate. So this is most common. In an irrigated system, sometimes we'll put acid in with the water, but in a dryland, you aren't
No,
irrigating, so this is not a factor.
The whole area is rain fed.
Yes.
It's not, water is not available for such an area.
Yes, and we always every area has its limiting factor.
We're
In this
barely managing to get water for sprayings
Well,
Yes.
from the well.
well then,
Right now,
Do
I
that.
think there's a very nice opportunity in terms of timing to do
There
a
is.
couple of good things that can affect your growth this year because timing is perfect, but you don't have too much time to decide and act.
yeah,
So
you could take soil
sampling.
sample right now is a fine time, and then look at that and see, oh, this area is somewhat deficient in
That's
whatever.
That's interesting because we were taught at the university that maybe with other types or other fruits that nitrogen administration should be done when the foliage is a little bit spread, a little bit developed. so they can process that nitrogen with via photosynthesis. I didn't know we should do it so early in the spring, and I
Part of
also
it-
didn't know that cutting cutting has a dwarfing effect on.
I also, but is there like less cutting or less pruning, or little pruning produces a dwarfing effect? Because from what we know and what we have experienced, only when you do like a serious pruning, you cut like, I don't know, 15-20% of the, then you produce on the contrary a strong growth.
Shoots.
There's an appearance, and this is an interesting thing. Visually, you can produce a big, vigorous shoots by aggressive cutting. We've all seen this. If you start measuring the tree and like the sum,
Bearing surface.
yes, the bearing surface, like say, this was cut and grew to here, and then it started growing spurs, and if you add up the growth of all the spurs, the total growth in volume is actually more than the initial shoot. So that's where I say the prunings are dwarfing. If you have a young tree, if we have a 3-year-old tree and we're trying to get a big trunk, yes, we need to cut so it does this. But it'll reduce the volume of the tree, which is why I say it's dwarfing, but it'll give this structure we need. But in this tree, we have the structure we're working with. If we cut this off, it'll grow a big shoot there, but it's probably going to be smaller in the end than what we cut off if we add up all the spurs and volume of that.
I see what you mean.
Does that
So therefore,
make sense?
you have to understand the reason for not growth. I mean, stimulating versus trying to figure out
I
what
know,
the,
I
what the difference
understand. I
is.
understand what you mean. But sometimes here when we have droughts, we have severe droughts.
Yes.
You witnessed the drought we had.
yeah,
You had the seminar last summer. So the leaves get wilted. We have heavy bearing, chunk bearing.
Yes.
So I basically don't see the leaves among the fruits. So I'm afraid I won't have enough leaf surface to
support the fruit?
Maybe we should sacrifice or do some thinning in the middle of the canopy.
Or sometimes maybe some lower branches.
Not concerned about this one because it's not affecting the machinery. Won't be maybe something here in the middle to promote airflow and reduce blight risk hazards. Or it's okay like this? Or what do you think?
It is okay, but you did point out a legitimate thing to prune is if you're having issues with the penetration of the
Light.
spray, for the blight especially, can affect any of the pest sprays also. This is a good reason to do pruning. And it would be like you say, you need to look at what is blocked. The other thing with pruning that I like to take out because it can create problems is you see how you have like a double, it's actually a triple split. Those joints can be weak, and if they bear up, they can break apart and cause problems. So if I'm looking to prune, I will take out these type of joints.
That one as well.
Yes, that one as well. And
Yeah,
like you said, this
makes sense,
centerpiece.
Yes. Sometimes we don't manage, don't have enough time to
This is,
take care of all this,
of course,
carry on all the agricultural procedures.
absolutely, it's a lot.
So right now, I think I would say the priority would be to gather information from your soil and figure out what is missing.
Yeah.
And while thinking about it, you can work on the little prunings that would stimulate tree or correct its structure.
We had very good yield this year and last year. As you said, we had branches leaning to the ground, full of yield.
Fruit. There was one comment I wanted to add about earlier nitrogen is you have to watch the form of nitrogen. What you had been taught about don't apply until it's leafed out of the tree. If you have something that's going to assimilate very quickly into the tree, that is very true. What I'm talking about that can be applied earlier is stuff like this granular triple 15
release.
that's slower released. And the idea is to have it there
Yes,
when the rain comes in the spring. But yeah, you would not
Yes,
want to put
that's-
something very fast
I know. I
early.
don't want urea to volatilize if I put it under the
Of
sun,
course.
direct sunlight.
Yeah.
So when I had less hectares and more time, I was using first urea to be processed slower. It takes some time to be fed to the tree, and then I put ammonium nitrate on the leaves are almost big
Yeah,
enough,
and they're bigger.
and it take it right away because ammonium
more
nitrate
available, yes.
it's more available.
This is good. I figured you know, but and partly he's recording.
The best supplement, I guess, is the solar is we have some coated granules that can release nitrogen throughout the May, June, but
Yeah.
it's not cost efficient. We cannot.
Yes, we've had, and I need to make sure the form is the same as I get in the U.S. of this triple 15.
Triple 15. Yeah.
The one we get in the U.S. takes like about 2 or 3 months to break down. It's not coated, but it just the way it's blended into the pellet, it doesn't volatilize or break down very quickly. So this works well in this situation. But I'm not sure if the
we have
one
we
you
have
get
all
here is
kind
the
of
same. I'm
all
sure it's
kind of
available here.
inputs, agricultural inputs.
Yes.
We even have triple 15 K coming from sulfate, potassium sulfate, not
Yes.
potassium chloride,
Yes,
which is
and I think
more expensive.
I think that form is I think that's the form I'm getting in California that is I've had good results with.
That will also help your pH.
It somewhat helps with pH.
Ammonium sulfate maybe also good.
Any of the sulfates will some. If your pH is very high, elemental sulfur or gypsum,
It's not high. I think it's 8.
8, yeah,
Still, you should.
it will
Yeah,
help
we
if
have.
to
We're lucky.
reduce
We
it
have a
some,
lot of. It's called chernozem, black earth. We have a lot of
Yes.
organic matter.
which is
So
good.
This one is saves us some.
This is
It
what
does.
is causing it.
Here we have 400 hectares in the north, and
Mm-hmm.
we have 200 hectares in the south. The soil is completely different there. And here in the north, all orchards you've been, they have problems with blight, with disease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Down south, with Koля and Mihai, they have, I guess, they have problems with codling moth.
Yes,
And
I think
us
we're going there
also in the
tomorrow.
south. So this
So
is.
focus on your soil sampling. Try to collect as much possible so that you will make better and more efficient decisions rather than doing something, let's say, more with approximation.
Okay, so I get it about the
a bit
cleaning.
cleaning and pruning, but it's not gonna.
Not shortening the
Yeah.
scaffolds.
No,
no.
this is not going to
Promote
promote
the
what
size.
you're after.
And
Thinning and cleaning can be
the
good.
last question is because it's getting
It's
cold.
getting cold.
The last question is we had a problem. We had in 2018 we had maybe 1.5 meters of rainfall during 2 months. We had
1.5 meters.
meters. Yeah, it was triple the amount of rainfall we have yearly.
Yes.
Within 2 months. So the flat, we don't have a slope. There was a field, we don't have a slope. We had flooded, the water was flooded for 2 weeks. We had all the leaves dropped the
Yes.
floor, and then they developed throughout the years the Phytophthora
Yes.
disease. So in order to save that, how many Aliet, Phosphatil, Aluminium Phosphatil should we apply, or just I don't know, yank all those plots with disease and establish a new orchard? What would you advise us to do?
What portion of the trees have actually died? Are they all are they alive and just suffering, or are you losing like a lot of trees?
I lost, I I guess a quarter from that plot.
Oh, 25%.
Quarter of the
Yeah,
plot.
maybe not that, but they will soon be wilted. Yeah,
Yes.
and that was a lesson for me to learn, because a couple of years ago I saw just one or two in a plot of 9 hectares. I saw just maybe a couple of trees, and I didn't pay much attention. I thought won't make a severe damage. Next year I had 20, 30 trees. Last year it grows in geometrical proportion.
Yes.
It
spreads
fast, yes.
exponentially.
So remove the tree, open the place, leave it open for the year.
I think in this case where you have this spreading infection, is it scattered over like a big acres, or is it kind of in a spots?
It's scattered. I saw some trees in other plots, in other orchards too. But is it okay to spray 3 times with Aliet, 2 times with, or is too much? It will leave too much residues in the walnuts. For aluminum phosphatile.
This depends on where you're sending the walnuts to. My understanding is the EU has some very strict testing rules on this. Other markets are not so picky about it. What I would do is where you have isolated spots, I would spray whatever's needed. And if you have too much in there, I would just take the nuts from there and either not harvest or send them to a market that you've disclosed this to, but to save the tree. If you have a, I don't know, hectare or more that's all, like these trees are all really bad, you'd be better pulling the trees
Quarantining that area.
and quarantine.
But
Leave it open.
something else besides aluminum phosphatile and phosphate, some
potassium phosphate, like
potassium
P5.
phosphate.
Yeah,
Is there
There's-
something else we can do? Maybe provide with some special care.
there's no other chemicals I'm aware of that are effective against an active Phytophthora infestation. I have seen, but it's in very different situations. I've seen Phytophthora managed by trying to raise where the tree, right around the crown of the tree, so
Right.
that it gets less water right up against it. How effective that would be in trees of this age, I don't know. This was mostly done on
Raised
somewhat
beds
younger
in,
trees.
When you when you plant.
Yeah, in certainly this would be advised where replanting is in a flat area where you know you have poor drainage. Plant on the raised bed, because if you can keep the water away from right at the crown of the tree, the tree will be much more resilient. If it gets
I know what you mean. Yeah.
this infection out here, it's much less problem. If it gets right at the crown, it's much harder to deal with.
Is it worth it to make a scarring of or deep tillage with the, how you call
The
it,
shank? Yeah.
the shank, where I will damage a lot of fruits and I'll spread the infection with the tool. Maybe skip this one.
In what you're describing, probably skip. When we've watched this shank, usually they aren't carrying roots all that far. It usually cuts the roots. But in an area where you know you have infection, yes, I would definitely skip this, just to make sure we don't spread. It probably wouldn't anyway, but it could.
Phytophthora. Guys, it's getting cold.
It is getting cold.
De ce? Nu, e o merdă că este loc. Merdă. Nu pot.
If you use this, let's say, 1 month ahead of you efficiently, 1 month ahead of you efficiently, testing your soil, deciding on the nutrition addition, and do some correction pruning. You can, I think, increase your production significantly this year.
We don't need more production. We need
More production.
better quality. I'm satisfied with the
You are?
yes, for the 8th year in Moldova for rain-fed trees. I guess it's okay. We're not satisfied by the 1.5.
But harvesting more is a bit...
Filling those shales, you know, compared to the others we've seen today, this is the biggest. So good.
In that first orchard where we had the cyanwood from your nursery, well, the trees were not big enough. They were like this. In 2023, we had 20 kilograms of walnuts per tree. On a tree size like this, a small tree, it was. And this year we had maybe 1.8 because we had drought. So I'm more than satisfied with the tree, rain-fed, with no nitrogen, almost at all. We didn't provide them. We exhausted the trees. I'm more, how to say, concerned about the quality of the fruits.
The quality of the fruits. You mean the initial yield percentage, for example, color.
Shrivel or
So that is also.
what are the
how you
defects you're mostly seeing?
The what?
The quality defects you're seeing. What is the main issue with quality?
It's shriveled, and I've seen this happening to the smaller side. The smaller the size goes, the more shriveled the kernel is. And color, no, I haven't experienced problems with color.
Okay.
And blight, we managed to. We had some problems with blight, but we keep up every 40 centimeters of rain. We have to repeat the
Yes,
coating with
that is a good
copper.
system. Yes.
I don't. Yeah, we don't have scheduled spraying. We have
No, it's by rain.
by rain.
That
yes.
is a better system. That is the system I
So
recommend.
even we had hail, light hail, not like in
Yes.
Lex orchard, and we had some damage on the when they are about the full size. So we
Yes.
had some scratches but we managed to with we don't have problems with blight, thanks God. But it's shriveled. It's shriveled and.
Most likely,
The walnuts is light, you know.
Yes.
We can have the same volume, but
Yes.
we're selling not on volume, we're selling on
Selling
kilogram
weight.
weight.
yes. Most of the time, this shrivel issue is your dry land. It can be lack of water, or also the lack of nutrients. If you've said like the ground's exhausted, that can cause this because the tree does not have the energy and what it needs to fill the nut.
Potassium, perhaps.
We made the foliar with lower edge of the interval of potassium.
Yes.
Basically, we're not, how to say, we don't, we're not lower than the threshold, lowest.
But you're on the very
But
bottom
on
of
the
the
bottom
threshold.
of the admissive limit.
Yeah.
Agree that it might be a good idea to, knowing their potassium deficiency, right now to do a soil-based potassium application.
I understand. Yeah, a soil application.
If you,
Soil-based application.
yeah,
I think it's a little bit too early to potassium nitrate. I don't want to lose the nitrate, you know.
potassium nitrate, it would be too early. You would use potassium sulfate.
Sulfate. Potassium sulfate.
Sulfate is also leachable, from as far as I know.
It can
No,
be.
potassium sticks to the soil.
The
Potassium, yes, the sulfur. I mean the sulfur.
The sulfur should react with the carbonates in your soil and help your pH. So this, it's not.
Sulfate is good.
So this could be
This-
timing-wise.
Now,
It could be done.
So
If you know you're deficient in potassium, if you think maybe it's a mix, probably test first and then get a blend shortly before the tree's going to sprout.
Okay then.
his thoughts.
Floor management. So what do you think is better, having a mowed sod or disc tilled?
I think mowed sod is better. I think it's good use. The chemicals keep this area free. I prefer mowed sod for erosion reasons, for lack of destroying the structure reasons. I think it is better. If
Yeah.
it can be possible to interseed more beneficial plants in there, great. If not, mowed sod is a good system.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you then.
Thank you.
Appreciate your
Thank you.
visit. Yeah.
Yes. Thanks for meeting us here in the cold. The sun goes down, the temperature drops.